In the remote corners of far north and east Cameroon, communities in the health districts of Kusuri, Vele and Dalili are engaged in a fierce fight against the invisible but formidable opponents of polio and measles. These vaccine-preventable diseases, without mercy or borders, threaten the hope and future of thousands of young lives. Let's embark on a journey into the heart of these districts, where each story reveals the devastating impact of these diseases, the daily challenges of health heroes, and the bold initiatives taken to eradicate these scourges. A poignant and inspiring story, where each voice sounds like a hymn to resilience and hope. Outbreaks of measles and polio, generally affecting regions of Cameroon. However, the regions of the rising sun and the extreme north have several characteristics in common which constitute a favorable terrain for the circulation of vectors of these diseases, notably insecurity, enclavement, poverty, natural disasters, and beliefs against vaccination, among others. Families of polio victims have experienced unimaginable hardships. Their testimonies immerse us in the reality of pain, loss, and resilience. They reveal the devastating impact of these diseases on their daily lives and their struggle for a better future. We were in the bush fishing when the child's illness started. The child could not get up anymore, his limbs weakened. That's when I decided to take her to the hospital.
The child was born well, he was even well. Now he held his 1 year 6 months after the disease began. It only started, his body began to heat up, and then when I lift him like this, he doesn't walk.
We were alerted by the fact that the child was no longer breastfeeding. This is when we brought him to the hospital. Afterwards, we went to the traditional therapists. He started sucking a little, but he could not walk, he was still crawling. Until he was 5 years old, he remained like that.
Measles victims are not left behind. In the eastern community of Kensu, this disease has been a real terror because of the number of victims, official deaths, and possibly also unreported community deaths.
The disease began. We thought it was polio or fevers and so on. The child was getting hot every time and really tired. We went to the chief physician and tried to explain it. They examined the child in the hospital, and after the examinations, the doctor told us that it is the beginning of measles.
It starts with a runny nose, red eyes, and the child begins to vomit. After some time, the body heats up. As soon as the body heats, it starts to come out. It comes out a little bit red.
I have a line of 10 cases for the disease you're talking about, measles. Without lying to you, it really swept the village, especially my neighborhood. Without lying to you, I come back. I have lost a grandson, because from the moment you spoke, I see that you were dying late, and the disease was already at its peak. After hearing these poignant testimonies, these stories of pain and suffering, it is important to look to the future, to prevention. These families, who experienced the unthinkable, today wish to share a message of hope and protection through vaccination. They want other families to be able to avoid the hardships they have gone through. These voices speak to remind us of the vital importance of vaccination. Their words are a call for accountability, a heartfelt cry to protect our children and communities. These tips are the fruit of a deep desire to preserve everyone's health and future. What I can advise my community is to get every child vaccinated from birth, and whenever an opportunity for vaccination arises or during immunization campaigns, families must encourage their children to be vaccinated. What has happened must not happen to them.
What I can tell parents is not to doubt this disease. If it really took the child there, it can also infect everyone, so they must try at all costs to vaccinate their children so that this disease can no longer reproduce.
Everybody now has to go get their kids vaccinated so that what happened to my kid doesn't happen to them. While these testimonies remind us of the severity of measles and polio outbreaks, they should not hide the efforts being made on the ground to combat these diseases. Dedicated healthcare professionals, vaccine soldiers, are fighting tirelessly to protect our children. Day after day, medical teams travel to the most remote villages, braving obstacles and facing logistical challenges to bring vaccines to communities.
En saison sèche, c'est...
In the dry season, it's the sun, the distance, everything above. And in the rainy season, the road does not pass. You have to use other means, such as the canoe, to get there, and in some places, neither canoe nor motorbike can go. You have to walk.
We don't have a cold chain. For example, we have to pick up the vaccine at the district which is 75 kilometers away. We have to come, for example, to the village Sandamagua, which is 27 kilometers away. We go back and forth, 54 kilometers. The district is 150 kilometers.
In the rainy season, you are obliged to use the pirogue 4 times. That is to say, you advance, you find water, you have to use the pirogue, you go down, and so on until you get to the district.
The contribution of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, is crucial through its financial and logistical support. Thanks to its help, vaccines are delivered in the best conditions, thus preserving their effectiveness. Cold chains, motorcycles, refrigerated vehicles, and many other means deployed in the 10 regions of Cameroon allow to carry out its vaccination activities. Gavi and Cameroon have been in partnership since 2001, and through this partnership, Cameroon has expanded its vaccine supply with the introduction of additional vaccines, including hepatitis B in 2005, juvenile fever in 2008, the rotavirus vaccine in 2014, or the respiratory infection vaccine in 2012. And also thanks to this partnership with Gavi, neonatal tetanus has been eliminated in Cameroon, and many diseases are under control. They are on the way of being eliminated. These are mainly investments in the co-financing of vaccines, investments in cold chain equipment to keep vaccines in good quality up to the most remote level, and also investments to support vaccination teams working in remote areas where there are many unvaccinated children.
Les 2 tiers de nos formations sanitaires, près de 200 formations sanitaires qui ont des chaînes de froid homologuées. Parce que c'est ça qui est important pour nous actuellement.
2/3 of our health facilities, nearly 200 health facilities that have certified cold chains, because that's what is important to us right now, the certified cold chains, which are mostly solar refrigerators. At the regional level, we had 2 cold rooms. A positive cold room, the one that allows us to keep vaccines between +2 and +8. Our vaccines that are sensitive to frost, which should not be kept, we have enough storage space. We also have a brand new negative code room and a large capacity generator that allows us to maintain the energy supply of these code rooms.
De maintenir l'approvisionnement en énergie de ces chambres froides.
The permanent secretary of the expanded vaccination program discusses the vision and perspectives that shed light on the challenges and strategies being put in place to ensure a future where measles and polio will be a distant memory. Cameroon's priority is to really focus on these areas where the vaccination service does not arrive either because they are affected by insecurity or these areas are very far from the vaccination services, so that finally all the children who have missed 1 or 2 vaccine doses be caught, and by doing that all pockets of source immigration is closed and the epidemic does not circulate. So this is really the strategy of Cameroon. Thanks to the Gavi grant for the next period, which runs until 2028, probably will be extended until 2030, we have been able to prioritize areas, not only health areas but also villages that have not had access to continuous vaccination services in the last 5 years, and where the risk of epidemics is very high. So by making that prioritization, we increase the efficiency of our intervention without neglecting, of course, the populations we are able to reach now.
Je rassure la population que les vaccins sont des produits.
I assure the public that vaccines are products that have a high degree of safety and effectiveness. Vaccines have eliminated some of the most serious diseases in human history. The vaccines that are deployed in Cameroon are vaccines that are pre-qualified by the Pre-Qualification Committee of the World Health Organization. They are vaccines that are also pre-qualified by the National Regulatory Committee of Cameroon. I am vaccinated. My family is vaccinated, and I encourage everyone to get vaccinated.
Toute la population à se faire vacciner.
The polio and measles outbreaks have left lasting scars, but they also shed light on the solidarity and commitment of local residents and health professionals. They are forging bonds of hope, fighting for a bright future where every child can grow up healthy and safe. Paying tribute to their courage is a necessity, as is strengthening our advocacy to support these heroic efforts. Together, hand in hand, we have the power to make a difference.